All right, JJ, Roma. Tammy Abraham makes Roma history. 23 goals in his debut season. That's more than Batistuta and Montella, who had 21. That's pretty impressive. Jose Mourinho already on the Instagram doing a little bit of trolling. Very happy man. Thoughts on this game?
Very relieved man as well, I think,
Yeah.
because, nobody needed a result like that more than Mourinho. But I think when you score inside the opening minute in a, such a heated derby game like that, that really puts you in a strong position to stamp your mark on it. And, they just blew Lazio away in the first half. Delighted to see Tammy Abraham. I know Mike Lahoud got a bit of a slap on the wrist when he suggested that Tammy Abraham has come into his own outside of the Premier League, when we all know that he cut his teeth at Villa Park. Exactly. But no, I mean, it's really, really heartening for an Englishman like me to see a fellow Englishman doing so well outside of the Premier League, because so few England internationals, try their hand outside of their home country when they're still in the prime of their career, or what should be in the prime of their career. So to see Abraham having taken that on, and being rewarded for it is fantastic to see. So I'm absolutely delighted for him. Hope that his hot streak continues, because Roma will need it if they're going to get themselves back into probably contention for qualification for the Europa League. I still think it's going to be difficult for them to catch up with the Champions League chase. And, it's 8 points now between them and Juve. I don't see Juve giving up that much ground. So for Roma, I think it's all about trying to finish fifth, level on points with Atalanta, so it's still within reach. But this result would have done so much good for them, and a bit of damage as well for Lazio, because, that is a really, really deflating performance and result. And unfortunately, these are the kind of games where Sarri has actually tended to get a tune out of his players this season. So for them to get blown out in this way, while I believe I'm correct in saying that his contract extension hasn't actually been finalized, it's just something that's been talked about now for like the last 5 months or so. There are still questions over whether Sarri is the right guy for this Lazio, or whether these Lazio players are the right players to play his system. I feel like I've been reading that quite a lot this last week or so. And I can't argue with, what we saw on the pitch today. Roma were a better side, deserved winners.
Yeah, something that worries me Sarri all the time is that Sarri is also very reactive. You're waiting to see what the counter does. And to your point, in this heated derby, you score in that first minute with that impact, it's very hard to get back to it. You score again, almost impossible. You score again, it's game over. And that's exactly what happened. And thanks so much for all the comments. I'll say it one more time for you, Dan Kane. Gabriel Batistuta. I don't know how old you are, my friend, but my goodness, watching that man play back in the day was just art. So the fact that Tammy Abraham passed him on his debut season in terms of goals for Roma is pretty incredible. So well done there. And when we saw the table, by the way, it wasn't too far. That's Jose Mourinho. He is such a troll. His Instagram account is pretty good. I want him to be a little bit more trolly, actually, because the more trolly, the happier I get.
I mean, if they win a couple more games, is he going to start getting the pizza and the Coca-Cola out?
Definitely. I want videos now, though. I don't just want images. But, it's definitely good for Roma, and we will see. I mean, listen, being fifth is no joke in Serie A. I agree. I don't think catching up to Juventus will be a realistic thing for them. Let's keep going in Serie A, by the way. Jonathan Johnson, Inter 1, Fiorentina 1. Are Inter Milan out of the Scudetto race, do you think?
I don't think they're out of it just yet, but obviously that doesn't do them any favors. I think they still have that game in hand, and once they've played that, then we'll know, whether they're still in it or not. But, they've really started to look shaky again recently. Milan sort of playing with that consistency that they lacked a bit last season. Obviously, they started so well and then fell away over the second half of the season. This time, they've got a bit more metal about them. They're showing that, They've learned perhaps from their mistakes of last season. And Inter, I mean, it was always going to be a complicated season. To be honest, Simone Inzaghi's men have taken me by surprise at times this season, because they've looked better than I've expected them to be. But as we discussed with Mike in the preview coming into this game, it just feels like Inzaghi's done some tinkering at the wrong time in attack, and now suddenly, the goals are drying up, especially coming into big games like this, because Fiorentina, it was never going to be an easy game. I know they've dropped out of European contention a little bit in recent weeks.
We all said Fiorentina was going to be tough.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they've been held to a draw here. I don't think it's terminal just yet, but another one or two, drop points like these, even if it's just draws, and I think that probably does it in Milan's favor.
Yeah, well, they got to take full advantage of their game in hand. Otherwise, it would be pretty tricky indeed. Napoli win 2-1 against Udinese. And AC Milan, you are correct, my friend. The latest comment there. AC Milan are flying. Another win there. Of course, it was a little bit overshadowed. Well, not a little bit. It was overshadowed by, once again, some disgusting racism and some racist abuse at Mike Maignan and Tomori. And Mike Maignan went on Instagram as well, and he made his feelings heard. And, it's just, I mean, listen, it's an institutional problem, and it's going to go beyond a social media post or whatever. Some real action needs to be going on in Serie A, because, I mean, everywhere around the globe, but we do see it a lot in the Italian game. And enough is enough, Jonathan Johnson, especially, a great human and two great humans like Fikayo Tomori and Mike Maignan.
Yeah, really, really disappointing for both players. Particularly disappointing for Maignan, because I remember there being a racism incident just a couple of months ago involving him. So it's not been a particularly savory or, particularly enjoyable experience of his first season when, it's being percolated with these incidents. And yeah, you can only hope that sort of the tone deaf attitudes of the past are done away with, and this can actually be confronted and stamped out properly, because it is a problem that has been going on for years. And no, we're not just singling out Serie A as the only league with racism problems. There are other examples of it around Europe. Just unfortunately, Serie A, it seems to be more of a regular occurrence than a lot of other places.
Yeah.